Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first GITCG Co-op League Podcast. We'll be doing these weekly to cover the league's news. I'd like to introduce our tournament organizer, MB.
Hello, guys, and welcome to our weekly podcast. Joining us today, our TC head. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Pietroloz, TC Head, and it's an honor to be here to talk about the weekly league tournament.
I realize I forgot to add a name tag. I'm so sorry, Pietroloz.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well,
My
add
name
it.
will
I'm
not
gonna
be
put a little sticker. It's like, "Hi, I'm Pietroloz." But anyways, since this is our first podcast regarding the Co-op League, we actually should explain what is Co-op League. Do you mind telling us, MB?
Yeah, sure. It's a weekly competition played over a period of time. 16 teams face each other weekly with different challenges to overcome and gather points. Simple, enjoyable, and full of cooking co-op. I think that's our favorite thing about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that sets this apart from tournaments in general is that you need to work together with your team. You have a total of 4 players. Only 3 players are going to play per week, and the decks that you make cannot share the same card. So for example, if I pick Xiangling, MB can't use Xiangling, and neither can Pietroloz if we were a team. And the other thing is that each week both Haunty and MB, our tournament organizers, will be giving the people certain sets of challenges and restrictions to keep things spicy and really make the teams figure out what do we do. We can't just follow what is standard meta. Let's see. We're not gonna get ahead of ourselves with that though, because first we have to review your first week's challenge. Let's go ahead and slide over to that right now. Chefs, this being your first challenge, we decided to put your skills and adventure to a practical use. It is the Master of Weaponry Challenge. Your deck must include a bow, a claymore, a sword, and here are the cards that you can use. With that out of the way, let's see how the teams did for this week. Here we go. Look at all those teams. They're so happy.
Yeah,
What do
we
you guys
have
think?
a lot of creative names and creative logos. It's worth mentioning that every team had fun designing their logos.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of logos, we will have a bit of a prize mention at the end, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Which ones? Okay, we shouldn't put bias, but which one's your favorite? Come on, guys.
Ooh, that's a really good
I think
question.
here I'll go first. I think Major Disappointment was my favorite logo and name. That one's the funniest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I love the Ed Hydras just because I think it's a really funny name, and the logo being your profile picture makes it funnier for some
Yeah,
reason.
Turtle drew that. Let's see. What about UMB? Which one's your favorite?
Can we just talk about how creative Majabu's logo is?
I agree. Gotta take the classic Discord meme and turn it into a team.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really creative. But if I'm going with like the best looking one, I definitely gotta hand it to maybe FTK Threat Incoming. I kinda like it.
True. It's the FTK Chicken plus Sino plus Bennett. I don't think that works as a team, but it'll be funny.
I don't think that's even an FTK considering Sino needs 5 rounds for that, but
True.
no, sure.
No, you don't understand. Okay, you Bennett, you overload, and then you chicken. Easy.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you bank on your opponent not having good dice, right? Right,
True.
guys?
That out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the scores for week 1. Here we are.
We can see the top 4 teams all got 2 wins and 1 loss,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pretty decent result considering it's only 3 games.
Yep.
And the other top 4 teams for Group A went the opposite with 1 win and 2 losses, which, I mean, you at least won 1 game, so
Yeah,
it
that's
cannot
the
be
important
too
part.
bad.
Yeah, that is all of Group A's side. In total, it's Thundering Furry, Peter Chefs, Copenhagen, and the Oceans and the Mimics. taking the lead on Group A side.
Yeah, we will see interesting tie-breaking results in week 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see if these other 4 teams will end up pulling ahead next week. Now flipping to side B, I think we have something. Oh boy. Here we go.
King Z going 3 wins, 0 losses. Currently unmatched in terms of points.
Mm-hmm.
While the Ed Hydras, which I think you guys are familiar with the results.
No, we don't know. We don't know Head
I
Hydras.
don't
Do we know
know
Head
them.
Hydras?
Who is
Yeah.
this? Who is this Bi girl? You guys are always talking about Bi. I've never heard of Bi. You need to introduce me.
Yeah,
It's
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
but-
True.
Yeah.
Outside
Then
of that.
yeah, we have Major Disappointment, a fantastic name by the way.
Mm-hmm.
FTK Threat Incoming and 2 Fast Angels going 2 wins, 1 loss.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolf House, Mojo Booze, and Fixed Day are true, going 1 loss and 1 win and 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I'd
yeah.
like to take a moment here and talk about Mojaboos, right? If you're familiar with like our Discord server, right? It's a team that is pretty much mods plus a tournament organizer, and they have been like trash talking their opponents all weekend and during the weekdays, and then they just pretty much threw, I guess, which is funny.
True. Dang, that's mean.
Putting the abuse in Mojo Abuse clearly.
True.
And now
Listen-
they're threatening to ban people. Shaking my
Damn.
head.
Gasp. All in good fun. When the day when Head Hydras fight Majabus, we are going to have a good time.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely 1 win at least.
Surely 1 win.
We're manifesting that, right?
Have a little more
Yeah.
faith.
No,
in
no, no,
us.
no. Listen.
Mhm.
We're just giving them a head start, right?
Mhm.
We're giving all the other 7 teams a head start. It's
Indeed.
easy.
Anywho,
Makes sense.
to round off the stats, I would like to congratulate King Z for pulling way ahead with 9 points, no losses, and then everyone else who has kept a consistent 2-1 2-1 lead. Everyone over here, as well as on the Group A side, everyone on this side. With that out of the way, I think it's time to start getting to the nitty gritty, and something I kind of skipped earlier, but considering the challenge of week 1, what do you think people were going to make out of all of this? Off the top of your head, just like putting some darts on the board, what do you think people can make out of this?
I expect to see a lot of Fischl, a lot of Ganius, probably a lot of Bennett, because I wanna say he's by far the best sword out of the available ones, especially after the Shincho nerf. As for claymores, it's actually kind of hard to guess what claymore will be the most popular, because I don't wanna be that guy, but there is not that many good ones.
Yeah, no, they're
I'm
just
guessing
like the real game.
Yeah, just damn, that hit way too close to home. As a Ito main in the normal game, but
Imagine
I'm
forgetting about Shongyun.
yeah, I'm assuming Chongyun, probably because Ganyu is, I'm gonna guess, pretty popular. If not Chongyun, Yula, because she's a cryo claymore, so cryo resonance stonks. Probably not expecting to see Beidou, because it's Beidou.
Beidou moment, true.
Yeah, Beidou moment. I don't think you have the right teammates to make Noel or Ito work. So I don't think either of them will be here. And I actually can see Razor being played just because he's Electro and he's not Beidou. So he's
True.
decent at least. And you can do something like Razor, Kiching, Collie, and you have your Fischl free for another team, which is pretty massive. Fischl and Ganyu especially, I think they're gonna like clog up the team building.
Yeah.
Just because they're
One
very,
thing I'll
very good.
note is that I'm very curious to see how many people actually use the new cards, because at the time of the release of Co-op League, the update also just came out, so people are like, oh man, I gotta test all this, but I also like make sure I gotta play League on time and submit on time. You should submit on time, by the way. The Ito, Tagnari, and Ayato are characters who people didn't have time to play test, so I'm very curious to see how many people actually use them at all.
Yeah, same. Also, the Shincho nerf was also basically very new, so I'm guessing people realized how massive of a nerf that was. So I'm curious to see what people brought.
MB, any comments on like what people would create out of this, or?
I mean, as a player myself, as soon as I kind of visualized the challenge for week 1, I was like, okay, how can I pick characters that I know they're gonna work together somehow and form a strategy without picking the best characters and leave them to my teammates? And somehow my brain took me to really weird places where somehow I thought that Eula Diona is the way to go. Clearly not, by the way.
Yo, let's go. Real team comp, double cryo.
Yeah.
No, that would be
Yeah.
that would be pain, dude. Like trying to do Diona's shield plus like Eula, you would have to pivot so much, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to go for some sort of stall. Yeah, but let's just say it did not work.
Yeah,
It
you
wasn't a
don't have
pleasant experience.
Yeah.
the options for stall are very limited, especially when it's impossible to get either Hydra or Geo Resonance. So it's very hard to like make a stall deck with the characters currently available. But Diona Sacrificial Bow talent, I guess is still okay.
Actually, a great
Yeah.
point. I never even considered the fact that like since certain character combos just don't work, you don't even get certain resonances. Like Dendro resonance is kind of out of the gate. Geo resonance, like you said, out of the gate. That's not something I considered.
Yeah,
I heard people say that for week 1, the way to go was to bring a deck that utilized Cryo Resonance and a deck that utilized Pyro Resonance and a deck that utilized Electro Resonance. And I think most of the teams built around that.
Yeah, I
I
definitely agree
think
with that.
only one deck, if I remember the statistics correctly, I think one deck only out of I don't know how many decks were played in week 1 was Rainbow deck, which is surprising actually.
yeah, I don't think it's that surprising, especially when you have such a limited pool of characters. You need to make up for the lack of synergies because I wanted to play Mona, but Mona sadly doesn't have a giant claymore with her, so I cannot put it in the deck. Meaning, you need
She
to like
can't
make
afford
up.
it.
Yeah, you need to make up for the lack of synergy with the best cards you can afford, and the resonance are by far the best cards in the game. And like, if for example, let's say I'm running Bennett, Sarah, and I want to run a Claymore, you'll run Diluc not because it's good, but because Pyro Resonance is good. So sometimes, yeah, the resonance are all really good, and sometimes if your deck is bad, you can just slap Pyro Resonance, deal 8 damage with one attack, and hopefully secure the game.
I'd like to ask a question since you're the expert here, right? How do you think the first challenge of the league affected the players? Like, what did they find hard about week 1 from your perspective personally?
Okay, from my perspective, the hardest, first of all, the patch was just out, so people didn't have that much time to test how much the Shincho nerf matters, and like Kojo said before, Tainari, Ito, and Ayato were you barely had any time to test them. But I don't think any of them were that good in this challenge to begin with, so I think the main challenge is when you have 2 out of 5 weapon times out of the game, like you suddenly realize, oh, I cannot play Mona, I cannot play Sucrose, I cannot play like so many, I cannot play Clay. there are like so many good characters in those weapon types that team building is restricted a lot, and when you cannot repeat a character, then it becomes very hard. Especially because you cannot have two of the same weapon types. So like, if I want to go Super Conduct Ganyu, I need to go Keqing Razor, which is not optimal by any means. It's the actual like competitive decks you can make with this limited character pool is extremely small. The only one that comes to mind is Ganyu Chongyun Shincho, which was just heavily nerfed too, so like it was still hard to perform with that. And yeah, also you take Ganyu out of the pool, and then your teammates need to figure out how to build the decks with that. But yeah, I think the main difficulty is coming up with 3 decent decks with such a there are very little amount of characters. I will say though, being swords and claymores, you have access to Aquila Favonia and Wolf Greystone, which while I think they are a bit too overrated as cards, they are still very good. And like Razor is not a good character, for example, neither is Luke, but if you have a Wolf Greystone on and your opponent is 6 HP, you still one-shot them, which is all that matters sometimes. So yeah, I think the hardest part is by far coming up with 3 teams, well, like 3 decks, making sure you can play them. Training with those decks is also hard because you're playing essentially a very bad deck most of the time, and you still need like to get practice in. So yeah, I think our play. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Another question I'd like to ask here before we actually move and talk about something else. How can you succeed in this format knowing that you only have one game, right, per player?
So I think this varies depending on who's playing, because there are a lot of ways to approach this. One way, which is what I would probably do, is play as safe as possible. So like, if my opponent has 2 cards in hand, and I lose to exactly Woven Resonance plus, let's say, Pyro Resonance and I die, then I would probably consider playing around it even, but it's just 2 cards. What are the chances, But one way to play is you play as safe as possible, and you just like hope by playing because when you play safe, there is the risk of playing too safe, and then your opponent eventually overwhelms you anyway. So that's one way, playing safe. Another way is going for the cheese strat. I don't like cheese strat, but for example, I mentioned Sarah before, which is not a character I'm a fan of in the TCG, but what you can do is use Sarah's skill, swap to either Bennett or Diluc, end round, and then next round, if you have exactly Pyro Resonance in hand, you deal exactly 10 damage, which is very inconsistent, especially in one game, but if you can pull it off, you can win like on the spot just because of that. And then the last way to play this, which is probably like the best one, I wanna say, is make a deck that resembles an archetype that you are familiar with, and then just go with that. Like, if you like playing Quicken, just go Keqing, Collei, Razor, even if, of course, Razor is not official by any means, like not even close. But if the style of the deck resembles one that you are familiar with, then that can work. So you don't. And
I mean, I think a lot of people went for second bests, right? Like, if Fischl is taken by another teammate, they just went for the second best option. And I think in that case it was Razor somehow over Keqing, which was quite surprising.
If you want to go double Electro Quick, I mean, you cannot go double Tendro because Tynare is the ball, but if you want to go double Electro Weekend, you are forced to run Keqing. She's the only Electro sword. And then for the Claymore, it's either Razor or Beidou. and
Mhm.
we all know Beidou. So yeah, that was probably the better option going for Razor.
Yeah, I'd like to like uh, steer your attention towards the statistics from week 1. We can clearly see that Razor has seen more use than Kaching. Um, I
Yeah, no.
wonder. I wonder why.
Uh, I can take a guess, and it's
Mhm.
uh, Razor doesn't have that big of a competition for claymores. First of all, for electro characters, is the only
Mhm.
claymore because Beidou is not real.
Mhm.
And
Rip
Keqing,
Beta.
comparing to Keqing, compared to Keqing, if you're not going for double electro, you have realistically no reason to go Keqing.
Mhm.
And even if like yes, Keqing is it's a very good character, but she's also like a very good character as the third slot when the other two characters are really good, like when you have Bennett Agent, when you have Collie Official, and so on.
Mhm.
Sadly, those combinations are not possible here, so she becomes a bit worse, and
Mhm.
she's competing with Shincho, which I still think is very decent.
Mhm.
And again, it was right after the nerf, so people maybe just wanted to go Shincho and said, you know, just go Shincho, just freeze them basically. Uh,
Mhm.
you had Bennett, which is arguably the best sword. I want to say in the game, but
Mhm.
also in the restricted pool is by far the best, just because he can go on his own. You just lap Aquila Favonia, Generals Angetelm, then you go M, and then you had things like Kaya, which can go like full stall,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's mainly that. I can see from the stats that Keqing was like, but yeah, she was the third most picked sword. I mean, no, the fourth, but like I said, the competition was pretty fierce. So I wanna say it's expected to see
Mhm.
Keqing a bit lower than what she would be in like a tournament where she would be a lot higher, of course.
Mhm. There's also one stat that is standing out here, which is Shungyun being picked at almost 100% rate. I think every team brought a Shungyun, according to the stats.
You know, if it's
Do you find
16,
this
then that means
surprising?
everyone brought one at least.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's
So,
basically
like, do you think this
standard.
is surprising or
Uh,
expected?
just like in the Razor case, the competition for claymores is not very high.
Mm-hmm.
Ito and Noel are not very good when you don't have the right teammates for them, which is usually double Geo, and
Mm-hmm.
for Ito is more like double Hydro, but neither of those were possible. You have Beidou, which is really bad. You have
Mm-hmm.
you have Diluc, which you probably only pick for Pyro Resonance, and that's it. If you don't want to go Yoimiya instead, which probably is better, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Eula as the last remaining one, and when you need to choose a Cryo Claymore between Chongyun and Eula, it's not even close. Chongyun is insanely better. Better skill,
Significantly.
3 damage compared to 2 damage, and you get the Cryo Infusion, which is pretty good. His
Mm-hmm.
boost one shots if you have Adeptus, or if you don't, like a reaction usually is enough to kill.
Mm-hmm.
And Ganyu was very popular for a good reason. She's out of the bow characters. After Fischl, she's the best one in this format,
Mm-hmm.
especially. So when you want Ganyu, you cannot go double Hydro Ganyu, and you probably wouldn't because there is no point if you don't have Mona. So the
Mm-hmm.
best option was double Cryo, and the only Cryo sword is Kaya, which doesn't synergize with Ganyu at all. If anything, they have anti-synergy.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
the only Cryo Claymores were Chongyun, which is insanely good and has been played with Ganyu a lot before, and then Eula, which is
Mm-hmm.
very mediocre as a unit in general. Additionally, like I mentioned before, Wolf Gravestone is a pretty good card in this format when you're forced to run a Claymore.
Mm-hmm.
And if the opponent is at 6 HP, with Wolf Gravestone, you need the 3 damage to kill. Eula, funnily enough, has no access to 3 damage unless you already use your skill once, which is
Mhm.
Yeah.
it limits your potential a lot. So at that point, just go Chongyun, and it's a lot better. Chongyun can also kill at 6 HP if the opponent used Lotus, because 7 damage from Wolf Gravestone is 10. Eula does a pitiful 2 damage burst. So yeah, I think Chongyun is not surprising. If anything, I'm surprised that I think according to the stats, one team didn't bring Fischl at all. Like, I think that's a more surprising thing, honestly. But
Mhm.
Chongyun being high is completely to be expected.
With this lineup, it basically looks like a superconduct comp. You have the Chongyun official Ganyu.
Yeah, except you cannot play Ganyu and Fischl in
Yeah.
the same team.
Yeah, sadly.
But yeah,
Mhm.
and
Can
yeah,
we
Ganyu
appreciate? Yeah, one sec. Can we appreciate the fact that Sheep brought the only Kale,
Yeah.
right? And he is the only person to win with Kale and to
Yeah.
win with a Dendro unit in their
Holy
actual
W.
deck.
Actually insane.
I
All the
am
Tignaris took an L except the Kale took a W.
that okay. I
Is there a
honestly,
reason for that?
I think there is. Tainari. Uh, I think Tainari is a very good unit. After I've tested him a lot, since a lot of time has passed since 3.6 came out. But with this lineup, Tainari is horrible. I wanna say.
Mm-hmm.
The strong part about Tainari is you have 2 Dendro applications with 1 charge attack, one on the attack itself and 1 on the summon. So what you want to do is trigger it as much as you can, like make use of it as much as you can. The best way for that is quicken. You cannot go for a good quicken deck because Fischl is out. So the next best one is like a burning comp, but
Mm-hmm.
you are taking, if you want to go double pyro, I mean you need to go double pyro because double dender is not possible. The only way is you are taking Bennett from your other team, which is I don't think worth just for playing Tainari. And in general, like especially because he was still very new, I think you just go Colle, which is a lot more straightforward. You know, deal 3 on skill, pretty good. Pretty good burst, 2 damage, summon. Like, Colle is a lot more reliable. You don't need to, oh, I need the even dice, or I need to skill first before being able to charge attack, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
no
I
good
think
pyro
Colle,
units for Tignari burning is definitely a big factor. You know, because I like playing
yeah.
Tignari burning in my regular weeklies, and I'm like, this is not possible if you don't have
Yeah,
Bennett.
you would need Bennett, you would need someone like Klee, someone like even Agent, but D-Look is not the move. D-Look is not.
Dude, that would feel awful.
I hate it because D-Look is like my most played character in the normal game, but in the TCG is not. It's
Do
not
you
very
think
good.
the challenge would have been much easier if the Claymore was swapped for Catalyst users instead?
Oh, by far,
Yeah, I
want to
agree with
say.
that.
Like, I think like the good claymores are
Mhm.
Chongyun. Eternal are good, but you cannot play them because you lack synergy, so you cut them out. You have Chongyun and Razor, which is not good but is decent, and it's Electro, so for Electro Resonance. But if you add Catalysts in, you get access to double Anemo because now you have Jin Sucrose. You get access to Mona, which is, I mean, it's Mona. Mona Ganyu, Chincho, holy shit. We don't want that anymore. You have Klee, insanely good. You have Bennett, you can go double Pyro Klee. And like you slot in Fischl just because application or whatever, like the element doesn't matter. You have a lot of better catalysts compared to. You have Barbara, you can go like the stall route if you really want to, if you are evil. You have Ningguang also for like a sort of stall route, which is not great, but it's still better than Diluc or
Now you have the option of double animal as a resonance
You,
as well.
yeah, you would also have the option of double Geo, because you have
Mm.
Ningguang Noel and then a sword, like Shinjo, for
Mm.
example, which is probably better than going for actually no, you wouldn't have a claymore if Catalyst winning, but whatever. You get what I mean. There are a lot
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah.
There are more good Catalyst characters than there are good claymore characters.
Yeah. Let's just go quickly and check the action cards stats, right? Um, Looking at it, like, it doesn't seem surprising to me that Lieben is the most used action card from week 1.
Oh, absolutely. Liben is one of the best cards in the game, and all the cards that we see on
Mhm.
the right side of the diagram are not surprising to be there. Liben
Mhm.
is never a bad card to put in your deck. Is extremely flexible where I can play him on 3 dice and trigger him instantly. I can play him on 2 dice and then just float one next round. Is it
Mhm.
doesn't need like you don't need to pay preemptively like a Paimon where you need to play 3
Mhm.
white instantly. Even though Paimon is still extremely one of the best cards in the game, like not even close. And it's just like any deck likes drawing 2 and getting 2 Omni dice. So
Mhm.
I'm not surprised in the slightest that Liben has. I think that's 100% pick rate, like 48 decks should be
Yeah.
every single deck. Yeah,
Mhm.
not surprising at all.
Oh, sorry.
Interesting. Is there any other stat on here that kind of surprise
Uh,
you in a way?
the other most played cards, Lotus Flower Crisp, one of the best cards in the game, the best food in the game, not even close. So it makes
Mhm.
sense. If anything, I will say this, like I will not say this every time, but if anything, I'm surprised that Liben is the only card with 100% pick rate. I was
Mhm.
expecting more, but yeah, Lotus Flower Crisp insanely good. I even lost yet insanely good. Paimon, Liu
Who do you
Su,
think
leave it to me,
dropped
we all
to?
know.
Because it's
Eh,
48 versus 46. Who do you think drops them?
yeah. Then
Someone
if
played
anything, I'm
stall.
surprised.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, if any, I'm surprised only for bestest travel companion because,
Mhm.
and I don't see toss up here, or if it is like I'm
Yeah,
not.
this is bestest
Oh,
travel
toss up
companion.
is like 17 decks. Okay, that's weird. When you have a scuffed lineup, you cannot afford to having to tune your end because
Yeah.
probably the cards in your end are better than your character card.
Which stat did you find toss
So
up under? That's it.
It's 17. Yeah, it's
17.
17. Oh, speaking of which, 11 card starts. That's okay. I think card starts, especially in this format, should
Mhm.
have been a lot higher. Card
Oh,
start
really?
is yeah, okay. Card start is a very I don't want to say underrated because good players will know that card start is good. It's more like that when you're sort of new to the game, you think that getting energy away from your standby characters is a negative. But the thing is, you're not taking it away. You are like, you are moving it to another character. And sometimes using Calx Arts as just getting one energy is insanely good because that's basically what Electro Resonance does. And if you get 2 energy with it, it's insane. And yeah, I'm surprised it's not higher. I'm gonna be honest, but yeah,
Mhm.
most of the cards. I see a lot of gamblers. I see changing shifts, very good card. I see surprisingly an insane amount of Catherine, 22 decks with Catherine, which makes sense. She was just buffed to one
Mhm.
dice, which made her go from one of the worst cards in the game to being playable, which is a big
Mhm.
big jump in quality. So yeah, uh, I want to say, except the very big lack of calc stats and toss up, I think most of their stats are expected.
Mhm.
think specifically we
right.
talked about this in the KQM podcast, but you know, most of the action cards are going to stay the way they are until the game actually adds more action cards in general. The one that stuck out to me was Wolf's Greystone because Claymore is
Yeah.
everywhere.
Since the game released, we only got 4 action cards. 2 of them were artifacts, and usually you only run like 2 copies of an artifact in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
You don't run more, so there's like not that much competition.
So
One of the
basic.
artifacts was
Mhm.
Tornado Kabuto, which is also known as Emblem, which is a terrible card.
Mhm.
And in 3.6 we got Granarogami Shrine, which is a location and a very meh one at that. So not surprising. And Phonius Sword, first of all, it's a weapon like artifacts. You're only running like 2 copies usually.
Mhm.
And one, I think Phonius Sword is pretty bad. 2, it is competing with Aquila Favonia, which
Yeah.
is, or even Sack Sword, honestly. Like, we only got equipment and then 1 non-equipment cards, and the non-equipment card wasn't that great. So I'm hoping, like, we got artifacts, we got weapons, we got locations. So, you know, I'm hoping next time we get an event card, which I honestly will like a lot.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
think,
just anything to shake things up, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying that a future week should force players to play multiple artifacts. I got that. Thank you for the idea.
No.
Yeah, it's
I'm
let's do an
sorry.
artifact. That's a great idea. We're doing that. I want to do it. Oh, Pietroloz, you like your name tag?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's the same color as my Mirror Maiden avatar, so clearly.
Precisely.
It's perfect.
I was gonna slap it on
Yeah.
your forehead, but I'm like, you know what? I'll leave it here.
Mirror Maiden's forehead is not big enough.
True. Unlike
It,
other characters. Let's see. I think.
Yeah, like Ayaka.
Yeah, MB. Where are we headed next? I think we're getting to some of the more specific stuff now. At this point.
Mm-hmm. So every week we're just gonna pick like 3 to 4 random replays that we would like to watch live on the podcast, and we will let our expert here comment about the cope and the cope plays. Sounds fun, right?
And these two will also
Yeah.
comment. Yeah, we'll kind of look at the deck list first, and then just keep in mind, you know, this is a special. It's the first podcast, so it's gonna be a little longer because we have to introduce a bunch of stuff. Otherwise, we'll be cutting out a lot of this in terms of the intro. We won't have to do it every single time because I think one explanation is suffice. But let's go ahead and slide right over now. I think we did pick out some of the VODs we wanted to watch. I have only gotten to preview these VODs, but let's go ahead and let's start with, let's see what I have here in my notes. We're gonna go for Binzu's match first. So let me go ahead and find Binzu. I'm gonna zoom out. You can actually see the whole sheet. Can we get a shout out to Haunty? This sheet is beautiful. My god.
Yeah.
I agree. This shit is bossy.
Holy, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Actually,
It is
insane.
just so good to look at.
But we will not stay all the way zoomed
Amazing
out
shit.
because I would like you all to be
Yeah.
able to actually read and not read ant text like Genshin Impact. Let's see. Alright, let's search up Binzu. Here we are. That is.
I have,
Mhm.
knowing Binzu as a player, I have a sneaking suspicion is he brought Barbara. I've
How can you bring
Actually,
Barbara
wait, no.
in
Yeah,
week
you
one?
You
cannot
can't bring Barbara.
Okay, then it's it's not.
Oh!
Oh, let me see.
Look
Actually,
at
okay.
this! Supercon, bro.
Yeah,
He is playing Rainbow.
he's
Wow,
playing
I'm not
Rainbow.
even surprised.
Actually, kind of
He's
ace.
playing. Yeah, I think very original list. I wasn't expecting this lineup.
Let me see. Is this? Oh,
and-
this is actually. I think is this Rep's deck list? I think I'm stupid. Because that's his opponent.
No. The way the spreadsheet is set up is basically it shows like Binzo played against Rept,
Yep. And then
Right.
that would be his thing.
but that's like the deck list Binzo ran. I think
I'm
that's
also
how it
gonna
works.
open a Rep's deck list as well then. Ah, there it is.
Mhm.
Let's see. Here we go. So here are the two lists. I think let's pick out anything you guys noticed from this one.
Yeah, Chongyun talent is surprising. It's not something you see every day, but I think most of the rest of the list is pretty standard. You have some healing with Cathedral and food. You have Catherine because she was buffed, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Aquila Favonia, Elm for Gene stalling, I guess. But yeah.
I think Chonyun talent makes a ton of sense because being able to increase your round duration three times Frost Field, that means Gene can on field even more.
Yeah, on field Gene is usually not something I would play, but with this line, I think with this lineup it's okay. Yeah, Aquila Favonia makes on field Gene like better, of course. But yeah, I'm honestly surprised to see this deck, and I'm curious to see the game where this is played. Yeah.
Now looking
Then
at Rep.
shall we start? Oh, we're looking at Rep's
Yeah,
deck
we want
list.
to check the deck
Okay.
list, of course, before we slide in. You know.
Yeah. Double pile, like I said, Resonance good, Pistol good.
2 artifact sets.
Yeah. The one Lucky Dog is just for Bennett, and the Aquila Favonia talent all. I think at this point in time, people were still doubting. Actually, no, this was way after Elm got released. Yeah, never mind. I don't know why Lucky Dog over Elm. There is a there is a annoying interaction between Lucky Dogs and Bennett, where if Lucky Dog heals you to 7, then your burst doesn't heal you. And you still don't get... Yeah, because the burst only heals you if you are 6 or below. And which is why you usually just on Elm instead, because it shields, so you can just heal every time. And no Paimon, very surprising. But the rest of the cards are pretty much what I would expect.
Yeah.
Benny talent good, basically.
Let's go ahead and slide into the match. I need to find it. By the way, this is announced inside the league channel, but if you want to watch any of people's matches, you can find them right here in the 3.6 Co-op League playlist right on our channel, GITCG. You know where to find it. Go ahead, like and subscribe, please. We want views. Let's see. Let's go ahead and look for Majabuse. There it is. Majabuse. Binzu versus FTK threat incoming. Rep TCG. Let's hit it. Go ahead. Gotta mute the audio. And then I will turn on some battle music. Okay, what kind of battle music do we want to put on for this one, boys?
I mean, your pick. Yeah,
pick?
this.
I think something Mondstadt, so I'm gonna put the Dragon's Mine theme on.
Based.
Okay.
All right, and I'm gonna full screen it. Let's go.
I see Raptor doesn't have the dynamic deluxe skin, which is a crime as
Rhyme.
well.
True. First mole. All right.
Chongyun talent, pretty good. Liben is pretty good. Knowing the only source of electro application for the opponent is odds, standoff is also a pretty good keep. Yeah, I think
Send
that's
off. I don't think they're going to use it
pretty...
though. I think send off would be a minus, right? If they went for like a send off official and FTK, are probably not going to happen.
No, you absolutely want to set up your stuff more than you want to send off something. In this deck, especially, insane dice.
Yeah, the fact that he just hit Animal Cryo as well in Rainbow.
Not only that, he has enough dice to also swap Chongyun talent, which is very good.
I did some notes. Yeah, for VODs like these, we might, like, you know, go a little ahead if, like, you know, something's taking, like, might speed it up a little bit, but otherwise we will watch to the end, basically.
Hoyoverse, please spectate function. Thank you.
Spectating function not necessarily the thing. You know, I think it would more be, you know, a better timeline in replays, because in replays you can only 2 times speed, and that's the only thing you can do to speed things up.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Paimon. Dice fixed. I think they're going for, yeah, end phase overload, but that's probably gonna work in Binzu's favor because Jean right here, right? Here, let's see.
Not even that. It's Binzu on changing shifts, which gave him enough dice to send off and Chongyun's skill, which is pretty important. Raptor has a Bennett boost up, also no dynamic skill on Bennett, another crime. But yeah, Binzu is in a way better spot.
Yeah.
Raptor basically has to swap back to official now, which is gonna be hard with a Jin on the board. And yeah, I think Binzu is in a pretty good spot. Now depends on what Raptor pulls out of this end.
Oh, Woven.
No talent, unfortunately. Jones away the Wolf for a Chongyun talent.
There you go. Benny burst out. I do wonder if Rep is able to pivot. You know, it could pivot Fischl, pivot D-Luke. You know, what are the other options? Really?
The realistic play is you pivot Fischl and set up odds again. The likelihood of Binzu having another. Oh, this is massive. This kills Chongyun.
Ooh, that's Chongyun done for? So.
It doesn't.
Oh, they passed it. Interesting.
I think that's a. I don't think that's the play. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it's not the play because now you get super conned.
This really is insane damage.
Oh.
And you.
So he decided to go for the ramp instead of the kill here?
Yeah, Rep went for the ramp.
I think, okay, ramping is never bad, but you get to heal a 2 energy Chongyun and set up odds, which I think was just too good to pass up. And especially when you know your opponent has enough dice to go to Jin and do a total of 8 damage with it, which is pretty high. Yeah, now Jin and Fischl on the Binju side are still very healthy, and on Rep's side, Bennett is basically dead. Fischl is almost dead, and D-Luke alone, I don't know how much he can do.
You know, D-Luke solo, you know, without the Bennett burst is definitely tough. I think Reps, you know, it kind of sucks, but you gotta pivot. You gotta pivot out. Losing Bennett would be significantly detrimental to you right now.
Yes, however, Bennett is up 1 HP against Swirl and Combat, so it's very unlikely.
Yeah, true.
Bennett
the Aquila. Oh, they're going big shrimp and skill.
Oh, that's an interesting play.
I believe they'll heal up. They'll add 4 HP, so up to 5. So not a bad spot. Nice,
and
nice.
We have Aquila Pavonia. Funnily enough, Aquila Pavonia will not trigger if you get swapped out.
Oh yeah, they're
It
swapping.
will trigger if you get swapped in, which is weird, but yeah. You swap D-Luke out, you have Lotus on Jin, no reactions possible. They have Catherine, but no dice to use Catherine. And Binzu can just drop a Liben and be done with it.
I think, you know, in this situation, unfortunately, if Rep had something like a Daishan, they would be able to take advantage of the fact that they're forced to pivot to D-Luke, but they don't.
I think Binzu played it extremely safe. I don't know if he just did a mistake or if used Lotus Flower Crisp, thinking, oh, if he has Woven, I'm in trouble. But yeah, now Raptor has basically nothing to do. Is forced to end. He can swap if he wants, but because of Catherine, you cannot slow swap.
Mm-hmm.
And now, yeah.
Oh, tuning
Oh,
Glyben. Oh wow, going
no,
for
he's
the
tuning.
big hit. Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a way better play. You bring in Fischl, which is like I wanna say the most important target.
Yeah.
Bennett is 1 HP, meaning he cannot heal. I mean, he can heal if he Bennett burst or skill with Lucky Dog, but he still dies to Jin. And Baines was a Jin boost ready, which is
Mm-hmm.
massive healing, good summon.
Yo, choose
Then-
Pyro on her. Let's do Sunfire, guys, right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if Sunfire worked in TCG, it would be awesome, but sadly it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing it doesn't, but it would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Raptor can or swap Jin without, but that just brings in the big Chongus.
Yeah, and that's Chongyun's just gonna refresh, especially with talent. That's 3 more rounds of having Cryo Infusion, which is more of a threat in the case.
The funny thing is, I don't think it even needs to refresh. You attack Fischl, Bennett dies, from super contact Fischl dies,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can just normal attack for 3 damage because stolen, or burst Diluc and you win.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you
yeah, I think the game is-
think? No, watch rep double star signs burst. Actually huge.
that would be a very funny play, but I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're red star signs. Oh, look in the Bennett swap. Oh, are they gonna cast
Also-
burst? You think to sustain themselves?
Casting burst is by far the best play.
Mhm.
Oh, Lotus.
Lotus,
okay.
nice.
Sadly, now if he bursts, he only has 2 dice left, meaning it's pretty hard to do a skill. Also, no talent is pretty massive.
Yeah.
If he gets a Bennett burst off with no talent, Binzu still has to take like only 3 damage at best, and Binzu can definitely kill through the healing. But yeah,
Mhm.
when you Cathedral looks not Cathedral, sorry, Library looks very desperate.
Reptune's a
At this
card,
point.
keeping the sun. Oh, there goes talent.
Damn.
Talent's good. That's really good. Official's sitting in a bad spot though. She might get.
Binzu does have pretty bad dice,
Yeah, no,
but it
definitely. Cool.
bringing Diluc in.
I
And now-
think is Diluc's skill safe? Probably not, right? At least he can land 1 though. Not a dice though.
If 1 dice, yeah. They already used 1 woven, so there is no way for Diluc to attack. And now Binzu can just normal attack because you have still Chongyun infusion. You kill 2 characters, and then you pretty much win.
Yep.
Yep. Ends phase. Oh yeah, going into our big shrimp and 4 damage. My goodness. Crunch.
And
Bennett is
sadly
alone.
for the Raptor, even though Bennett could potentially like out heal Fischl and Chongyun, he cannot out heal I haven't lost yet burst.
Yeah, no, most definitely not.
Or double.
No,
I
the
haven't-
double. Oh no.
yeah.
Not like
That
this.
just confirms it at this
I
point.
just oh no'd in real life. Put my hand next to
Yeah.
my head and slammed it on the table.
over
Oh
for
my
that.
goodness, what is that? High roll, what?
Who needs dice fixer? Oh yeah. For those watching at home, Binzu is a well-known toss-up aider. Oh, he swaps.
Gambler?
took
Fuck.
fucking
At
good.
least it's optimal.
I guess he was desperate to the point of yeah, I'm trying to OTK this round, but
I mean, it logically works out. You're about to lethal Gene, so you should definitely equip gamblers.
there is an argument to not equip cucumbers because
I'm
without
just skilled there, unless you cringe dice.
why you don't heal? You don't have Lucky Dog anymore.
Did he already use it? I didn't see it. Oh, doubles.
He equipped the Gappers,
Ah,
so
you're right.
you
You're
lose
right. My
Lucky Dog.
bad.
And now Benzo takes the big.
Yeah, snap
You
that
lose.
screenshot. Click, click. And
But-
we're
and yeah,
done.
same.
GG's. I'll make sure to get. We'll jump to that victory screen. There we go.
Yeah. Benzo getting
Crunch. He's gone.
insane dice this on the last round is not deserved because he's a toss-up hater, so automatically he's no, okay, I'm joking.
No.
But clearly you don't need toss-up when you're just lucky. Like that. But yeah, good game. Surprised to see only unofficial Gene work, but not disappointed.
Mhm. Now, we would want to review a little more matches, but I think we literally have time for like one more. So, usually I think, just keep in mind, we'll try to diversify it. There's tons of teams out here. I put them all in order of who's fighting who, So if you ever want to check it out, go check it out over here. But we are going to watch Sheeps versus, who are they fighting? They're fighting Saint. Or wait, are they? Hold up.
Ooh, 2 mods.
Two mods. The
Fighting
mod
each other?
fight, bro. Let's see here.
Oh,
Let's go
well,
ahead and skip ahead. I would want to review decks, so I think we'll pause on the screen right here and sort of see what they're. Oh, that's why you picked it. Now I know why you picked it.
Double Electro Ito with Sarah official.
Actual W.
That's okay. That's a very weird.
That's a lot of cope right there.
I think it's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
it
Kinda
is cool,
based.
but
Mhm. Let's slide right
Uh,
into it. Saint versus Sheep for my waifu. We'll skip that. Yeah. I'm gonna. What's it called? I know it's not like, again. It's this podcast is. I wanna kind of cut out any of the parts that if we're waiting for a long time, so it's more entertaining for the people at home. So if you guys don't mind, we're gonna be doing that. Checking their hand. Yeah, definitely get rid of food. Ito. That looks like that looks like my draw. That's a good hand. That's a good hand.
that's an insane.
Mhm.
You get to you probably start the chain to get the stiletto in hand
Mhm.
immediately. Then you soak to Liusu, soak to Kole, Liben. Yo,
Goes. Roll.
Sarah, I'm guessing someone on Saint's team already had official,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so that's why he's using Sarah instead. Ito is a very curious, I wanna say, inclusion.
Curious inclusion. I mean, I think at the
Yeah.
minimum, people have said that double Electro Ito is not, it's a good option, and considering the, parameters of this challenge, it's not a terrible pick. I don't think.
I think it's a lot worse than double Hydro Ito and double Geo Ito, but
Yeah, but double
Ito in
Hydro
general,
is significantly unviable in this,
impossible.
in this format.
I mean, double Geo also is because you don't have Geo characters. But yeah,
Mhm.
Ship's dice might look bad, but it's actually very good. It's gonna lie then anyway. Sadly, this opener with summon into fast swap Ushi
Mhm.
is very, very strong for Ito decks.
Good player skill check. Always make sure to tune the opposite dice if you have Liven in hand. you go.
Exactly.
Good. Ooh.
Now, Ito will not get another superlative super strength stack because Ushi will not take damage. However, he will get another crystallized shield, which is pretty massive, and he will get a crow feather, which means when he eventually uses burst, he will get +1 damage.
Yeah, I believe who took turn prio? I think Sheep did, right?
No, Saint.
They took turn prio. All right.
He had a Catherine fast swap.
Ooh, Electro Res with
Electro.
Paimon. Not bad. Not bad.
Electro is pretty massive here.
You get to drop your colon and bar right away. But you could also skill. It really depends. You are gonna have extra
No.
dice going into this round.
I think you probably want to pull in Ambar and then swap to electro unit.
Oh, nice. Potatoes, good for healing.
Now, I think Saint as dropping Ushi, if he has electro resonance in end, is a good play, just to get the 2 stacks.
Yeah, most definitely.
You could also swap back to Sarah, because that's the Sarah issue, I call it, where you have to swap back into her every round. Otherwise, your application is lacking. But yeah. Now, even if ship uses burst, it will take 0 damage. Because that's a tanky hit. I think you definitely want Cool and Amber out.
Yeah.
To getting quick and stuff.
Yeah. Especially because Saint is playing double Electro. Ito has the access to Electro Resonance, so Saint just drops Electro Resonance while Ding Donger Kale is gone.
Exactly.
Speaking of Electro Resonance.
If Saint had Electro Resonance now, it would be probably game over actually.
Going for the Adeptus? Thinking about it.
With Adeptus, Ito goes to 8. No. Yes, it goes to 8 HP.
Do you think it's necessary? I feel like it's unnecessary.
I think you would much rather use the dice or something else. But yeah, I think Chip is thinking if using Adeptus or not. I think you just pull a number and be done with it. He's thinking about it.
Gotta think about it. I will slide a little bit ahead, to what the final decision is.
I see Adeptus being played.
Yep. 4, 8, 9. There you go.
I think it's still a good play.
Yeah.
You don't know if you will be able to get a Kitching or Razor burst out.
Yeah.
So might as well use him.
Yeah. They probably won't get Kaching's burst out, but at the minimum, Ito does have to kind of spend all of his dice, I think, to make an attack right now. So, it's fine.
I think Kaching boost is the more likely one. You can Stiletto, go to Kaching, she's at 2 energy, and then any energy card allows you to burst. But I don't think you will.
Oh yeah, no, they're going big shrimp and going for it. Kale's gone.
Yeah, that's if Saint has a Woven, that's another 5 damage.
Yeah, no, definitely. Woven would be a game changer.
I think I will swap to Razor here.
Yeah, Razor is also an option, so you can give Kaching a little more time because she has that fast swap ability.
Yeah. Thing is, if you swap to Kaching now, Stiletto gets wasted no matter what you do. So might as well swap to Razor.
Crunch 4 damage. And Quick Ignorer comes up. Bryce Chang hasn't procs yet. We've had quite a few reactions, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we only had 2 reactions actually.
I mean, I felt like it was a lot because Ito's getting his end phase crystallizes.
Yeah, the summons sadly do not work with Chang. Otherwise, Chang will be only one.
I think you could use, since you're not being able to ramp, you could probably hash browns, or you could swap back.
You should probably hash browns Kaching. Just be efficient with the dice you have.
Oh, burned a card.
Looking to Sarah is weird. She's gonna take a lot of damage. Because she has Electro Aura on her. Yeah, I think you just hash browns Kaching. I don't think there is any reason to hold it. He might hold it to hash browns Razor during burst. Which might be good enough, but yeah, I think both plays are fine. I would probably hash browns Kaching anyway, just to be safe.
I think what's interesting as someone who's like an advanced player, I took this tip from talking to other people, but the pace of your play matters a lot. And I skipped over it, but Saint was waiting a pretty long time there, almost a timer, before ending the round, which kind of gives you a tell. It's like, oh, they probably have like a fast swap ability that like they could potentially figure out who to end on. and they kind of calculate. It's like, okay, I think I'm okay here, so we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah. Ship's End is actually pretty good. No food has been drawn, meaning not using rush rounds was a bit of a loss. But at the same time, Chang is about to proc. Finally.
You know, both players that kind of staved off both of their. Ooh, nice. Staved off their round timers, so they are kind of cutting it close. So they got to speed up the pace of play, or they will start getting bitten in the back by it.
Yeah. Saint is probably going. Yeah, Sarah skill. Set up the summon, set up the buff.
Going for the physical attack to proc. Do you think that's?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. By going for a physical attack, you proc Chang, which honestly doesn't matter. What matters is you don't give your opponent a free swap.
Yes, most definitely.
However,
I can agree with that.
Saint does have gathering, however. Meaning, I would probably still kill.
Ooh,
because now
that's good. That's really good.
Gamblers is insane. Actually, Gamblers might just close out the game now.
Absolutely. That's such a good card draw.
Was that top decked?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, top deck technically. How will Saint respond? I feel. I mean, like they could burst, but that's kind of an L. They could switch to Ito with fast swap, but
if they switch to Ito, they can do 6 damage, gain 1 shield.
Yeah.
But then Sheep can just.
Yeah, Razor just punishes them, right?
Funnily enough, Sheep doesn't have enough dice to play both like Gambler's Boost and another normal attack. I mean, he can, but if he does that, Razor will die from a Kiching normal attack. Let's see.
Oh yeah, they went for the Ito. I don't remember Catherine exists. I'm so used to her just like not being a card, and now she is.
Yeah. Now she's suddenly a card. I think the play for Sheep here is to
Goes to the crystallize.
I think the play here is Ash Brown's Burst.
Yeah. Oh.
Ash
Oh no, Sheep, please.
You should Ash Brown's Gambler's Burst and then play Armor.
Watch them do it without any of it. Ain't no way.
Yeah, also saying that only has 2 dice. Meaning it's a bit safer. Like go all in on going all in on a Gambler's Burst.
Could you imagine Razor's Burst carries over to other characters?
That would make him good, but also broken mostly.
Yeah, absolutely busted. Better than Beto, let's go.
I mean, it doesn't take much to be better than Beto.
True.
But yeah. Sheep is thinking very hard about it. I think this is the situation
where...
where...
the point where they'll do it. I was about to skip ahead. Come on.
You gotta risk it for a biscuit, you know? Just Ash Browns.
Use hash browns. Yeah. There we go.
Now, the only way to die is...
Yeah, they don't have prereqs for that, so let's go.
Yeah. You should absolutely Ash Browns here, I think.
It looks like they're not gonna do it. I think it's a small misplay.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine.
Ito's down and 3 dice remaining.
Okay. Shape is gambling on Saint not having Woven, which is the case since he swapped to Sarah. And now you Razor skill, which, fun fact, I won't blame you if you don't know this build, it's Razor, but if Razor kills someone, the wolf will attack the next card that comes out. Because it's a different attack. It's like a Shincho burst.
Yeah.
Meaning you can get full damage on Kiching, which matters because you will get quicken again.
The swap the
Ooh.
Ka-ching, only 1 dice remaining though.
I mean, I think you just skill here. You can
Yeah,
either
skill's an
skill,
option. Oh,
you can either
6 damage.
yeah, either skill or worth touchdowns, which doesn't do much because you still die to a skill next. So I will just skill, just punch him in the face.
Oh, looking to ramp instead though.
Oh, claymore. It gets to give priority, which is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, holding down priority, you know, because Crow Feather will trigger, making Ka-ching's abilities much more dangerous, but, you know, at the same time, if you don't hold turn priority. Oh, nope, getting back to Sara.
He wants, by doing this, he removes Quicken completely.
Yeah, nice.
Doesn't put aura.
And phase dice, let's go.
Yeah, and face gamblers, a classic. Sadly, because of now woven plus Ito card, I need to call it I haven't lost yet because the Ito card is on the other side of the field, dead. I need to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I haven't lost yet. Plus Ash Browns also. Plus, which is probably the most important thing, you still get 5 damage with a Razor skill.
Imagine Saint pulls out like Star Signs, double Electro, Adeptus burst. No.
Finally, the correct play here is to tune Stiletto first. Which doesn't matter honestly, but whatever. If you tune Stiletto first, you make the opponent think, because the opponent doesn't know what card you're tuning. So if you tune Stiletto first, you make the opponent think your dice is bad, when it isn't. Big brain plays.
Here's a fun question. With Razor and his like wolf summon, what comes first? Do you have Rain Swords and like something like Rain Swords and
Razor summon, like the wolf, always comes first, because it's a status that's attached to Razor and not to your team.
I see.
Which honestly, it's pretty disappointing because if you skill, you're gonna do 2 electro hits in a row, which is, I mean, it's good if you like have an aura on the enemy, but yeah, hopefully, well, Razor,
It's how it works in the video game too. So it's like,
I guess. I mean, in a video game, it kind of goes like all together, which is a bit different. But yeah,
true.
it should be over, unless Saint has exactly either Lotus or Ashbounds.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had Lotus in their hand, considering how large their hand is.
Yeah. Oh, I see Healing. Oh, I see Ashbounds.
Yep, and Stellar Restoration.
Sheep didn't use Ito card yet.
Yeah, they waited for it. It's the smart move. Always like keep your eyes on the pace of the play. You gotta use those things last, so your opponent doesn't know.
Yeah, and now catching.
Oh, go for the flex. There goes. GG's. Get that screenshot. Snap. Yeah, almost got it. There we go.
Yep.
Nodders.
Catching.
Oh, man. Good get, dude. The Kale team W and a Razor W. Holy.
I'm gonna be honest.
It was a unique W overall.
If anything, I'm surprised that Kale wasn't more popular, to be honest. Being Bando means, I mean, she's not, 3.3 Kale. That abomination is thankfully not among us anymore. But she's still very good.
Yeah, most definitely. I think people were just like, they already recognized the existence of, the resonances that you mentioned were the most optimal, and so they didn't really want to try it.
Yeah, I think because when you play Kale, the only realistic resonance you can go for is Electro.
Yeah.
And I think maybe people were more like, oh, I'm just gonna go double Electro Ganyo Superconduct.
Yes.
Which is still a very good option, don't get me wrong, but she definitely surprised a lot of people, I'm sure. with the
Yeah.
Kolle pick.
Most definitely. So, yeah, we are sorry, but we do kind of have to wrap things up here because we have places to be. We're all working very hard
Yeah.
for GITCG. But we will introduce next week's challenges, which I will actually get to right now. So let me go ahead and slide over to here. All right. So, taking a look here, next week challenges. MB, if you don't mind saying the name for me.
Oh, so the next week's challenge will be to Vast Best Cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it has quite a unique restrictions,
Indeed,
right?
indeed.
Where every deck must include a protein, which in that sense is a monster card, right? So it's either gonna be like chicken or kinky or oceanid or the other monsters. And it also must contain a pyro unit, right? And then the rest are free game. You can pick whatever as your chef, right? So it was cool. It created like unique card pool, and I'm excited to see like what people cooked for this week.
Absolutely. Gotta have a cook, heat source, and then a source of protein. I think I would like to eat some delicious chicken. How about you guys?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't like to eat Rodea, but I think she
It's
will
just
be
water,
by
bro.
far.
Concentrated,
just-
deadly water that explodes.
Yeah. I mean, technically, Earth-3 summons are all animals, so you could eat those instead.
The
Yeah.
the Kenki is the worst because it's nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
Crunch, crunch,
Yeah.
crunch.
Exactly.
You've never tasted a kinky before? Come on now.
What? You
Yeah.
going out to your car and then taking the screws out and eating them?
Definitely.
We'll make it quick. Let's do like three. Let's make like 2 decks right now. Out of this. So like let's pick.
By far,
Mhm.
I will be biased here. My Mirror Maiden avatar gives it away, but Mirror Maiden Rodea Shangling
Oh yeah,
is
MM vape.
probably by far the best deck you can make. And other decks are probably Vape Kenki, like Kenki, probably Clay, and an Animo unit, maybe, like Sutras or Jin.
Yeah.
Lava Churl, you can go double Geo.
Double Geo
However,
Pyro. It's a little
yeah,
awkward, but it
that-
definitely isn't
yeah,
impossible.
it doesn't sound amazing. And then for chicken, you basically are forced into either burning or Burgeon.
Mhm.
If some players actually tried Burgeon, I would be gladly surprised because
Mhm.
Rainbow teams, I think Bloom teams are really fun.
Burgeon would
we
be
don't-
so hype. If someone brings Attila's Burgeon deck, ain't no way. The
Attila?
Jingcho Yoimiya chicken.
Sadly,
But
that
like,
deck got nerfed.
wouldn't that deck? Yeah, exactly. Like, it is quite nerfed because of Xingqiu. That I think just people are not gonna bother with it.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, they could, but yeah. Also, one thing to note is Abyssal Summons is impossible because
Yeah.
you can only win monsters, which is
Hmm
interesting. Usually, monsters are one reason why they're good is you get access to Abyssal Summons, but that's not the case.
I think also resonance are impossible. Well, technically resonances are possible, but they're very limited, right? You only have Hydro, Animo, Dendro, and Geo.
You have Pyro Resonance. You can go. Oh wait, you don't. I mean,
Can't only one of these.
Yeah, you can't have Pyro Resonance.
Pyro Resonance is out, and the Cryo Resonance is also out.
Yep.
Electro Resonance as well. It's
Yep.
definitely interesting. I expect Rodea to be by far
Yeah,
the most
lots of
popular
Rodea.
because she's just good. Like five dice, get to damage reduction with the frog, get good application,
Mhm.
get a nuke burst. You can really go wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then my guess for most played monsters after Rodaya is probably I'm gonna guess chicken and then Kenki. I think Lavachu will probably be the worst one, just because you could. Yeah, the only teams I've seen with Lavachu are like Double Geo, which is with a pyro unit, and I've seen double pyro Lavachu, but you cannot go double pyro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Lavachu will be the less popular one, but
Yeah,
I'm
most
curious to
likely.
see what people do.
I think it's just 'cause every other thing does so much, and then like Lamacho's just like, yeah, I kind of lose by turn 3, so
Yeah, it's just kind of there.
man, all right. But I think yeah, that's gonna do it. So we've introduced the challenge, so we will be very excited to be seeing what you are cooking this week. As usual, we didn't get to do too many this time because we did a lot of intro stuff to kind of get out of the way for our first podcast. But next time we should be able to review a little more VODs. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for our podcast. How do you feel about that, boys?
Kojo, I think you're forgetting something
Oh, you're
relatively
right.
important. The price.
You're right. We are actually, and this is one of the exclusive things. Thanks for reminding me, Pietroloz goated. There is a prize that we are allowed to announce now, thanks to the one and only Numa. MB, do you mind doing the honors of what the prize is?
I thought I would like to keep it a secret, so I can cash in on some money. Just kidding, just kidding.
No,
Just kidding. By the way, guys, if you want to know the theme of the challenge, right, before everybody else, my DMs are open. I just ask for $5, nothing more.
No. Hey yo, Modern Boost real. I didn't know you were part of their team.
I'm not a mod. What are you talking about?
IWs.
All right. Anyways, so the prize for winning the league is an exclusive rule made by Numa, and it will be named after your team, and it will also have your logo as well. And you're gonna have your logo, or sorry, the logo of your team next to your name,
Yep.
so you can flex on everybody.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much, Numa, for providing this special flex.
Yeah, so if you want to get any of your team logos, we got some great team logos out here. As an exclusive role for yourself, and your teammates. I think that's a great prize to get because these logos are fire.
I know,
think-
right?
I think it's amazing, but at the same time, I can imagine you're a new player, you join the Discord server, and then you see someone whose role is major disappointment.
Listen, man, sometimes you just gotta talk down to yourself.
Yeah,
I
true,
think that's gonna
true.
do it. I think did you two have anything else you wanted to say for the cast? Otherwise, we'll kind of sign off.
I will just say that it was an honor to be here. I wish I didn't have to speak like this, but sadly, time zones exist.
Time zones.
And Mirror Maiden is the best character in the game. And
All right, now
yeah.
this is where we remove Pietroloz.
no,
Wait,
Mirror
where's
Maiden.
his icon? There he is. Die.
No.
But,
Yeah, it was an honor to be here.
thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on and filling up the space. We might. Depends on how schedules work. All the staff are really busy. But we'll usually look to have at least one guest outside of myself and MB. So. And yeah. So I have been Kojo.
And this is MB signing off.
And yeah, Mirror Maiden's #1 fan here,
Now-
signing off as well.
All right, now I'm just gonna let me just
No.
take myself.
I will
Heart
not
attack.
let my Mirror Maiden simping go
He's done.
unnoticed.
All right,
But
that's
yeah.
gonna do it. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.